Hi, everybody. This is Marilyn. Do we have any audio right now? Yes, we do. Thanks, Jack. Thanks. This is Marilyn, and this is the noon edition of Welcome to My World for the 7th of January. So, wait a second. Tony's trying to tell me something. Okay, we're ready. Anyway, I guess you can see my charts. I had a problem with Ninja a little bit ago, so I had to shut it down and bring everything back up again. So rather than torture people with the camera going berserk on the crude oil workspace, I just turned it off for a second. Anyway, there have been some great trades today. My goodness, all kinds of them. I don't know if, I think it was Ezra that was going to put up a bond chart. This is the 30-year ZB. Some of you might be more interested in trading the ZN because the tick size is not so horrendous, especially to learn on. ZB ticks at $31.25 a tick. So you sure do want to be right when you trade it. There's not much room for error with that. But the good news is it doesn't generally move very fast. So you will have to pee a lot. And don't forget about peeing a lot. Picky about your entries and patient with your trades and setups in order to be profitable. Keep in mind what you're getting paid to do. You are getting paid to operate a profitable business. So that's really the biggest consideration. That is the main thing. If you keep that in mind and don't lose track of that, you're being paid to operate a profitable business. So we've had the indices have started to recover a little bit, as has crude oil, but it looks like it's starting to sell off a little bit now. The gold has had some volatility and some nice trending trades this morning also. The indices came out of that overnight down movement, trended up. It looks like they might be correcting a little bit, but we've got the VIX trading right now at 23.46. So it's almost up to where it was about 5 or 6 sessions ago at 24.39 was the high spot then. So it's got a little bit to go to get up to that altitude. The Canadian dollar has been kind of interesting this morning. If you monitor the Canadian dollar, it certainly has moved right along with normally its best friend is crude oil. And it's nice, especially when you're learning, if you have something that trades, that's the correlation with, it gives a little bit more confidence when you see that everyone is playing on the same page, the way they are supposed to. Doesn't always happen. There can be all kinds of things that affect that. But as a rule, crude oil and the Canadian dollar tend to trade pretty much in sync. I have noticed there's been a lot of these trades. If you reviewed the post that there was a link to the forum post that Lori put in yesterday or last night or whenever she put it in, there have been a lot of those trades. Really, really easy to see, not stressful, worked out great. Just worked out great. The one thing I will caution you about is the news is full of the the sky is falling and Chicken Little and the sky is falling and oh good grief and the world is going to collapse and all this stuff. And they're real good at taking pictures of these glorious traders who look like they're probably having some so I would say stressful few days here. Don't don't let that get in the way of your trading. Do not buy into that stuff. Do not buy into it. It will do nothing but stress you out and jerk you 4 ways from Sunday. Stick with exactly what Apex teaches. Trade what's in front of you. The trades are either there or they're not. It's just that simple. It doesn't matter what all these doofuses on TV are talking about and telling you. You do need to keep in the back of your mind at all times, especially if you are trading crude oil. Pay very close attention to the possibility that some of these oil fields start getting blown up or assorted and sundry different things could happen. There's a lot of nutcases running around loose in the world right now. But you can do very well trading if you stick to the rules, watch closely for the trade setups you're looking for. When they happen, have the confidence to take them, and you'll be fine. It doesn't matter what all those people are talking about. Ezra, I believe I start with an 8-tick stop loss on bonds. Let me double check what I have in my ATM. Yes, I go with an 8-tick stop loss, and I get that move down as soon as I can. But keep in mind, if you watch that enough, you'll see it puts up some nice slings too. So don't get taken out of a trend. I have the trendar on the bottom of my diagnostic chart for that, and I find that very helpful with bonds. I don't know, somebody else may have a better idea. So please let us all know if you stumble onto some wonderful thing that's really helping you. Let us all know, because that's what this room is for. This is traders helping traders. We're all here to kind of help and support each other. And some of us have been around a little bit longer than others, but that doesn't matter. I mean, the trades are the trades. So let's see. I've got some questions in here. This is usually a good time to ask questions about the unemployment rate and tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow's news. Glad you mentioned that. Tomorrow's news, 8:30. We're going to have some CAD employment numbers, and lo and behold, U.S. non-farm payroll numbers and the employment and all that stuff. At 8:30, I would not be trying to take an indices trade until I saw how the market is going to respond. The markets are all very nervous right now anyway due to global economies. China is leading the band. That little nitwit in North Korea he's not being a nice person. It's a lot better when he just kind of disappears, but he wants some attention. He wants something. And the fact that he's grabbed the headlines has also made these markets a little nervous. So between the Saudis and the Iranians not playing very well together in their sandbox, and the nut job in North Korea, and the woe is us that you're seeing on the TV every 2 seconds, just kind of let that stuff go by. Put it in the back. It needs to just be in the background. But don't let that interfere with your trading of what you see. Absolutely not. And we have another question in here about the block purchases on the sales, the institutional buyers. Are you referring to the time and sales, David? I think you are. When you see blocks noted in this time and sales over here, okay, that's what I thought. All right, the time and sales defaults. Let me show you on the properties. Okay, it defaults to about 80 for the block alerts, and I think 1 or 0 on the size filter. Number one, the little people like us, and we're all the little people, okay? All of us are. We're trading our 1 and 2 contracts and maybe 3 here and there and what have you. We are not going to move this market. I can promise you that. All of us together can put in the exact same trade, and it's not going to move the market. But people who have, or the computer-generated trades that have, I have my block trade set. I have it set to 5 for the size filter. I want to know when there's 5s because there are people and programs that are trading 5 contracts at a time, but they want to place 10 contracts. So what they'll do, they want to place 25, 30, 40, and they'll sit there and those go out in 5 size trades, 5 contract trades, and it's over and over and over and over. So that we can't really tell from looking at this. You'll see them come on and on. But I changed my block alert from 80 to 20. You can sit here and watch crude oil for the rest of your life. And if you ever see an 80 block come through here in crude oil, I would be amazed. Once in a while, you'll see 35 or 40. That is a huge order. Huge order. So my goal here is I want to know what's happening, the significance, because if you have a whole bunch of them that are all buying or selling at the same price, see where they're getting filled. Here's a bunch of 33.50s right here. When you add all that up, that's what, about, I don't know, 25 or however many it is, 26 contracts that were all sold at 33.50. So you know they're selling 33.50s. That's kind of the way I use this. But when those big blocks come through and when you see the big red flashes on this thing, or the big green flashes, that's what it's for, is to get your attention. There is a lot of activity, and it's a tremendous amount of orders. So don't try and go against that. Might not work out real well for you. So I hope that helps. Anyway, that's the way I use it. And you will have to figure out for yourself what you're comfortable with. For instance, if you set 5 and 20 and you trade the ES, that's not nearly big enough. Not nearly. I've seen 137 contracts and 240 contracts and what have you come through on ES. I don't trade it, and that's the reason. Different markets, it'll take different settings so that you are aware of what's coming through. Let's see. Can I share the 810 that I have posted on the camera? John, this is, I just took this off the template. This is the only thing I did was go into indicators, and it's the, not the bar settings, but it's one of these. Maybe it's the trend catcher. I changed my, I like to see where those are. Those trend catcher entries are very good, I think. I like them. But so I changed it so I could see them to the yellow. And there is a, not the trend flip, but the trend chop. The trend chop. I made my chop colors yellow because they default to orange, and the orange kind of blends into the red, and I can't see that. It's probably just my vision. But and I guess where I'm going with my story is when it's in chop, I want it to kind of catch my attention, and that yellow catches my attention right in here. And how did I get the list? Abdul, the list on what? I'm not sure. Oh, the time and sales. Okay, you go to. Oh, here, let me pull this over here. Whoops. You go over here to. You get your time and sales. You go to File, New, and then you've got a whole bunch of stuff you can put on here. Time and sales is down here at the bottom. While you're looking at this, keep in mind, Daryl recommends if you're going to use the dome, you use the static dome, not the dynamic. Not the dynamic. Use the static. That's his sage advice, and I'd be inclined to listen to anything he says, because Daryl is truly a master trader. And then to get what you want, it'll come up blank. You have to right click out here in the middle, and the instruments will load from your instrument thing, and you can adjust however many columns on here you want. I don't want any stuff I can't keep track of. And then in properties, I would leave all this to the default, and then adjust your block alerts and your size filters. Get rid of the onesies and the twosies on anything. They don't matter. So I hope that helps. And make sure you don't have that thing on always on top, because you can't, you'll have to resize it every single day. It's a pain. So I think that's about it. Tomorrow morning, that news is going to be significant. So just be aware that stepping out in front of the bus right at the stroke of 8:30, you might not enjoy that too much. If you're on the right side of it, it's great, and if you're not, it's going to be it's just going to ruin your whole day. So the best thing is stand on the curb, watch the bus, see which way the bus driver is going to go, and then look for your entry on whatever you're trading. Okay. And so I think that's about it. If anybody has any questions, or they need help, or you can't figure something out, because I know we've got some new people coming in and out of here, just please let us know, because that's the whole purpose of this room, is for everybody to jump in and help each other. Anyway, this has been my view from my world in Apex land, brought to you by Apex Investing. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Thanks.